candles, oils, spa. But I've got the best self-care for you. Stay tuned. Hey, Michelle here. Monday Mastery Moments. It's that time. And how have you been taking care of yourself lately? What have you been doing to put in some self-care? Well, I have something for you that I think will trump any self-care that you've done in the past, and that's setting boundaries. Because setting boundaries really creates that safe space, and especially now that we're cooped up together, we're closer than we've ever been before. We're with people that we haven't been this with for day in and day out for a long time. We don't have work that we can go back and forth to. We don't have school that we can go back and forth to right now. So it is so important that now we set those boundaries in place, even if we have forgotten them in the past. You see, not only does it make you feel more in control, but it leads to your self-respect. It gives you a new boldness. And hey, I feel a little sassy when I set those boundaries. But it also saps your energy when you're in that space of stress. When you're stressed out, it takes so much energy. And I'd love to use that energy for something positive, for fun, for things that uplift others. But you can't use that energy somewhere else if it's all gone because of stress. So setting those boundaries also help you dealing with stress. But also, the thing is, how do you know? How do you know what stressed you out? How do you know what you need to set boundaries with? Well, there are triggers. There are triggers that you're not even thinking of. What makes you angry? What frustrates you? What makes you feel resentful because someone keeps doing it over and over again? They're not picking up behind themselves. They're always expecting you to cook dinner. They can't take care of themselves. They can't do the dinner by themselves. They're always calling your name. They're always interrupting you, like what you're doing doesn't matter. Well, those are things that bother you. Those are things that anger you. And so if we just take the time to set those boundaries in those spaces, then we're taking care of ourselves. We're creating that safe space and we're creating self-care. See, even thinking about it makes me feel better already, but we can't assume that everybody knows what we want. Yeah, maybe those that we work with or we don't know that well, but your family, your friends, they've been around you all their lives. And for you to suddenly change, we can't assume that they're gonna get it, that they're gonna catch it. And if you don't tell people how to treat you, how are they gonna know? If you're not telling them, hey, I'm gonna change this. This is something new that I'm gonna put in place. How will they know? So it's so important that you don't assume that they already know, because you've been this way for 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, and to all of a sudden change, they'll be like, what's with you? So don't assume that they'll get it. Take that time and let them know. If you've always been complaining about this, but you've let it go, they don't know that this is something you change. Which brings me to my next point, which is if you set these boundaries, there has to be consequences. You can't just set these boundaries and don't do anything about them, because they'll be like, psst, like she really cares. She's not doing anything about it. So with that said, you have to have consequences to these boundaries. You don't do this, then I can't help you. You don't do this, I'm going to ignore you. Whatever your consequences are, when you make these consequences, and be very clear about these consequences, then what you have to do then is hold to them. Because girlfriend, if you don't hold to them, they know. You ever have your kids and you tell them something and, look, I told you, if you don't do that, I'm going to spank you. And they do it again. Look, I'm going to spank you. And they do it again. And still nothing. They'll be like, psst. She says she's going to spank me, but I know she's not going to spank you. So you have to uphold to your consequences in order for this to work, in order for it to be that self-care that you need. And finally, you know what? Just thinking about putting these things in place, I feel so good. But there's one more thing. Like I said, you've been like this for years, and now you're doing a change. Well, especially with your family members, there has to be a little grace. Now, get this. I didn't say don't put these things in place. I didn't say don't uphold to your consequences. But what I'm saying is you got to have a little grace. Give them time to get used to them. Give them time to get used to the new you and give you the self-care that you need. I hope this has helped you, given you something to think about. But if you're still struggling with it and you're still not feeling good about yourself, I'd love to talk to you further, or even pop it in the comments below. And I have a link right in the comments below for you to get in contact with me so we can talk a little further. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to know what you think, and I'd love to know how you're taking care of yourself. Until next Monday, talk to you soon. Take care.